This is A Better Way Financial, the podcast with financial advisors and father-son team Frank and Frankie Guida.
I'm Heather Branch here with Frank and Frankie asking for their insight on ways you can better prepare for your financial future. ABetterWayFinancial.com is where to start the conversation about your own customized retirement plan. We also have links posted in the show notes, so you can just click there or you can find us anytime. ABetterWayFinancial.com. All right, so this is the time of year where for all the fellas in my life, I like to take a moment and do a little public service announcement to you, Frank and Frankie, and to all the husbands across Lehigh Valley and say, it is September. Christmas is coming. Have you shopped for your wives? Everybody pay attention to the time frame. It's a slippery slope.
I thought she was going to talk about football.
We'll get to that.
One
in a minute.
holiday at a time.
Right?
We haven't even gotten to Halloween.
That's what I'm saying, though. It's a slippery slope. It'll be here before you know it. And every year, I feel like I'm talking to one of my guy friends in life, and they're like, oh, I messed up this year, Heather.
I didn't do it.
I'm working ahead. I'm trying to help you out, guys.
That is definitely something women think of before men. I have already gotten the text message chain from my aunt saying, "Hey, where are we doing the Christmas dinner?" It's like it's August.
My sister,
that's when they send it to us.
My sister and my mom, they've already started texting me about Christmas party planning, and I'm like, "Are you kidding me?
Mm-hmm.
You people need to calm down."
Yep, my wife already started her Christmas list.
See?
I'm like,
brother.
How are you guys already thinking about Christmas? We got like 3 more holidays to go still, and a lot of football.
And a lot of football. That's it. There's lots
insane.
of football to enjoy.
And we, Kim and I, we have 2 grandchildren. So for us, Kim thinks it's actually Christmas every week for our grandchildren.
That's
it's like she got to go get something for them.
That's it.
Especially if you guys are traveling.
Yeah.
Everybody gets a present. Everybody gets a souvenir gift.
That's crazy.
So, all right. Well, let's talk about the idea of spending, particularly for the folks that you work with at a certain phase of life. Thinking about spending and spoiling the grandkids is one of the thrills of the retirement, the golden years that people look forward to. There was this article that began with a question. And the writer said, quote, "I have $1 million saved for retirement, but I'm not sure how that translates into retirement income. Now that I'm ready to retire, how much can I withdraw each year from my nest egg? Should I follow the 4% rule?" So again, talking about spending, it is the spending time of year. People are buying gifts and shopping for food and all the feasts that we're getting ready to enjoy in the coming months. So thinking about somebody you're working with who they have left their employer or they have left their small business, they got to make that savings now turn into an income for themselves. How do you help somebody figure out their own personal withdrawal rate now that they're in retirement?
So if, for instance, you have $1 million and they're taking out $40,000 of worth of income from $1 million portfolio, they're taking out 4%. That would be their personal withdrawal rate. And that's how they use this 4% rule. They say, well, if you can take 4% out of your investments, you shouldn't run out of money over the next 30 years. The problem with this is it's like any rule of thumb. It's only good in certain circumstances. It's not good all of the time. And that's why you really want to crunch the numbers. And at A Better Way Financial, we're not just saying, well, you could probably take out $40,000 and be fine.
No, we're
If anybody is saying you probably could, you probably need to be looking for a different advisor.
Yes.
You know what? It's funny because I had somebody tell me just the other day, oh, yeah, I worked with this financial planner from work. And he just in 5 minutes told me what I could do. I was like, yeah,
right.
That is not the way it works in reality.
And that's the thing, though, is that a lot of financial advisors don't want to put the time in that it takes to actually answer the question.
Sure.
To answer the question of how much income can I live on in retirement, it's a very simple question. The answer, it takes hours to find that out. You need to gather all of the documents. You need to gather all the financial information. What's their Social Security? What's their pensions? What do their investments look like? And you need to put together a financial plan. Usually takes anywhere between 4 to 10 hours to put together a financial plan. And then, and only then, do you have the amount of income that they can live on after taxes each year for the rest of their lives.
Exactly. And what we're doing while we're doing that is we're saying, okay, have you picked your pension option yet? And then we're doing the calculations to help them choose the pension option that is best for them.
Okay.
Have they started taking Social Security yet? Well, if they haven't, how do we set it up so that between them and if they're married, their spouse, When should each one begin it so that they can maximize their Social Security benefits?
Yeah.
You know, their portfolio, you know, are they in a risk situation that they're comfortable with? You know, and if they are they earning the most that they can within their risk tolerance? And then we're looking at, you know, what are they paying in fees, you know, for this portfolio? You know, a lot of folks think that they're paying nothing, you know.
Right.
That's extremely rare that that's the case. But, you know, we're showing them where the hidden fees are, how much exactly are they paying, that type of thing. And then most importantly, taxes. How do we minimize taxes throughout the rest of our life? And then we're putting that financial plan together, and then we're doing what we call a Monte Carlo simulation.
Yeah, and figuring out how successful is their plan going to be. To quickly clarify, a Monte Carlo simulation is basically when they determine, based off of 1,000 different ways that the markets can perform, some being really good, some being really bad, and some being in the middle, how your investments could perform over the next 30 years.
It's a computer program, right? You run the numbers on the computer, and the computer shows you what could happen in 1,000 different case scenarios.
Exactly.
Got it.
You know, we look at what is their current plan or lack thereof, and what is the success of that looking like, and then what is the plan that we're putting together for them, and what does that look like over the course of their retirement, and seeing what they can do to improve their plan so that they're going to be more successful in retirement, go on the trips that they want to do, not have to worry financially about where is that income going to come from? How do I make sure that I get my income over the course of my retirement? So now we just had somebody come into the office the other day, and he was 75 years old. He was retired. He was looking for someone who could help him with his finances. He's been doing it by himself for all these years and didn't know how much income he could live off of, how he could save money in taxes. He had an advisor he was working with and saved about $1.6 million over the course of his retirement and over his working years.
He was doing I think the retirement advisor, he was doing the 4% rule, because that's exactly what the guy was living on.
Wow.
He had $1.6 million. He was living on $64,000. Well, that's 4%, right?
Yeah, and you want to know, can I live on this amount of income? Can I live on more? You know, how can I do some of the things that I want to do over the course of my retirement?
Right.
And we said, okay, well, let's look at it. Let's really dive deep into the numbers to see, is that $64,000, is that going to be too much income? Is it going to be not enough income? Is it going to be the perfect amount? And after we put our analysis together, we found that he could live on substantially more income, $122,000 of income per year, almost double the amount of income that he's living on right now, by doing the planning the right way. So first things first, we looked at what is the risk in the portfolio.
Okay.
The risk and the returns, it was a very high risk portfolio. If the market crashed, he could go down as much as 36%. And his returns were not reflecting that high risk that he was taking. He was getting a less than 6% rate of return.
Really?
And it just wasn't jiving with what he needed over the course of his retirement. He didn't want to take all that risk, and he wanted to get a better return. You know, so we showed him, hey, by setting up your portfolio the right way, we're able to increase that return since 2000 to about an 8% rate of return after fees.
Okay.
And lower that risk if the market crashes to around 21%, 21.5%. So lowering the risk while getting him a better rate of return over that time period.
Got it.
Do you think a 2% difference over the course of every year on average over a long period of time could make a difference?
Makes a huge difference. And fees, too. We saved him $3,600 a year in fees. We were showing him what he was paying versus what it would be with us.
Yeah.
We showed him how to save potentially $200,000 in taxes over the course of his lifetime.
Wow.
If he just went by the 4% rule, he would be able to live on $64,000 a year. Okay? And that's what he was doing. But when he came to us, we showed him how to improve, make improvement here, make improvement there. And that brought him up to almost double, $122,000 a year instead.
Yeah.
Well, you just want to go by the 4% rule, or do you want to have the work done for you?
I mean, what difference could that make? I mean, could you imagine if you had twice the amount of income that you currently have coming in now?
With less risk involved.
With less risk,
Yeah.
less heartache, less worry about what's going on with the election, what's going on with the markets. How do these things affect my financial plan? And if you're in a high-risk position, you're all worried about what's going on with the election, what's going on with the stock market. If the stock market crashes, I'm hosed. You don't want that type of feeling, right? So you want to have that portfolio protection. And that's what we're able to show people. We're able to show them how to set up your portfolio that you're within your risk tolerance, not losing more money than you feel comfortable with, and getting a rate of return that's reasonable for that risk level. And by doing this, by setting up the portfolio the right way, setting up the tax picture the right way, we're able to save hundreds of thousands of dollars in this person's case scenario, and by setting it up the right way, they're able to live on tens of thousands of dollars more each year over the course of their retirement. So if you don't know how much income you could be living on over the course of your retirement, and you're thinking, maybe I'll just go based off a rule of thumb, I'll just take 4%, you could be shortchanging yourself tens of thousands of dollars in your retirement. You want to be able to know how much income you can live on. What are the strategies you can do to save money in taxes? This is some of the stuff that you want to know over the course of your retirement. And if you're looking for more answers just like this, or you're looking for how we can help you in your personal situation, go to abetterwayfinancial.com and click on the sign up now button so we can begin to have this conversation with you.
We also have links posted in the show notes, so you can just click there, or again, visit us anytime, abetterwayfinancial.com.
Thanks for listening to A Better Way Financial, the podcast with Frank and Frankie Guida. To learn more, visit abetterwayfinancial.com and join the Guidas for the radio show, A Better Way Financial, Saturdays at noon and Sundays at 12:30 on News Radio 790 WAEB.
By contacting us, we'll review aspects of your retirement portfolio to include suggestions about how best to utilize estate, tax, and retirement planning strategies and other financial services, or if changing management styles is appropriate for your specific needs and objectives. Exposure to ideas and financial vehicles discussed should not be considered investment advice or recommendations to buy or sell any financial vehicle. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Investments can fluctuate, and when redeemed may be worth more or less than when originally invested. A Better Way Financial is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency. Annuity guarantees rely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. Any client experiences discussed during this show are unique to that client, and they are not meant to imply or suggest you will experience the same results. Advisory services offered through A Better Way Financial. Insurance offered through licensed professionals at A Better Way Financial. Pennsylvania Insurance License number 301779.